Hey guys, welcome to this episode thing that's going to be going on, basically a tutorial, as you might know it. But basically, these tutorials, throughout the episodes, we're going to be learning how to make a combat system, and I'm going to be showing you what it will look like after this episode. Like, it won't look exactly like the sword combat and everything. This is what it will look like. So we've obviously used this character because it's quite good. Because it kind of represents a sword person, I don't know. But I didn't really like the look of the other one because it was a bit like the animation weren't brilliant. So then I've used this one here. So now if we just walk, you can see how we walk, just like this, and I've also got it quite good, so it doesn't just try to drift on the floor. So it looks quite good. And then if we press 1, we go to the animation. We obviously attach our sword, and you can literally. Like, as you could tell, the sword doesn't look very good, like, attached on. It just looks like he's, like, almost on his thumb. But yeah, that's basically, it's kind of going to be kind of like this. So we press 1, press back, and like this. We will be adding some kind of equip animations, and we can do that. It's quite easy to do. But that's what we'll be doing today. So, what I want you to do first is go onto Google and search up Mixamo, and you might know it, you might better just download some animations that you like. So you need to download Idle. So I'm just going to show you what it would look like on here. So I want you to download Idle like this, just normal Idle, no weapons. So just search up Idle, find the one you like, and then download like a normal walk, so they're just walking normally, and then download a combat with the shield, or you don't need to add a shield, but I will be adding a shield because it looks kind of cool. We don't actually have any kind of combat thing, but yeah, basically just download one of these. But yeah, basically just download this one here as well, so it should look a bit like that, and then you want to download a walk with this as well. Yeah, it looks quite good though. And then also when you've done that, you want to download a pack that I believe is free. I got all these packs for free, so you can get all these for free. So you know, if you're just looking at one or might want to get that one, they're all free, so why not? As you most probably can tell, I got menu builder. I'm doing an FPS thing, like I was doing a game before, but I've kind of not got back onto that yet. But this is, this is the pack here. Infinity Blade weapons. As you most probably can tell, there's a lot of weapons. Only like 200 megabytes. But as you can see, they're really cool weapons. So you can have axes, you can have loads of stuff. You can have really, these really funny ones. I won't be using these because they're not very. It's not really like a proper game. A game wouldn't have a lollipop stick, would it? But yeah, basically these are the ones I'll be using. So I think I'm using this one right here. I think I'm using that one right there. But you can use any one of these. There's also a little knife as well you can be using. And then go to library, or won't be going to library, but I mean this library is not a real library. But then go to Free Fantasy Weapon Sample. Now this one's 1.5 gigabytes, but if you want, if it works for you, it didn't actually work for me because like, when I used this sword, literally this sword right here, it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work. It was basically just it was just a glitch, and it was making me really lag. I don't know why, but I can't use that. But I've downloaded it, so I can have this, just this. It's really annoying. You can't do the same thing as on Raw Engine or with Unity, where you can select what you want. I would have just selected that shield. And obviously got knives here I will be using, and then I'm definitely going to be using this spear, so you definitely want to have this pack as well. And this is free, okay? So when you've imported that, and also if you don't really know how to do that, to add them to project, you just click add project, show projects if your project is not showing up, and then you just select one, add the project, you just wait for it, so you just click that, for example, some of them, so basically do that, you add it to your project. And then, for example, some packs won't be, if it's a brand new pack, like 2021, it might not work with your really outdated game because it might be not very, basically you can't, use it. But, for example here, it would say create project, and you basically just click create project and you do this, because if it's another pack you see, but oh, I'm going to use that, generally, if it's like this, it most probably is not like that, it's a pack. Which obviously has level, but yeah, basically most of these, as you must have got a tank one, injury system, which I might do an injury system. if I can figure out, because normally I figure these stuff out myself. I didn't even look at YouTube for this. Well, I mean, I sometimes do. Obviously, I learn it from YouTube. I'm pretty sure everybody uses YouTube. But also you can use Infinity Blade Anniversary. Like, you can basically use any of these Paragon assets, because these ones here are already made. So you can't use that for the project that we're doing. But you can use any character you want. But just make sure you have not a gun, because I'm not doing a gun. I'm just doing general sword and a shield, or a knife, or knife and something else. But yeah, we're going to be doing so I'll have 2 weapons, and we're going to be also making them drop. I don't know if I will do that, I have to decide. But we'll be obviously trying to do like, so you can drop the weapons to put them up. Also, we're going to be doing an AI as well. We're going to be using some Mixamo, AIs. So yeah, let's get onto it. So these are all my assets you got. So just remember, just reminding you, you of course need this, and you of course need these, or just any shield or any sword. And also, I would also suggest getting these as well. These are really good, because if you're making a game like that, it literally goes like that. It's kind of a sword thing. And then you could also download this pack if you want. I do not suggest downloading it straight away. It's only 91 megabytes, so it's not much. But then these are really good for the effects after when you do it, but they are a little bit too big, so I would suggest finding some other effects. And also, at the end, we might be using these Niagara Footsteps VX. Most probably, if I have a little look, see how it works. And also, we might be doing a bit of level design. Maybe at the end of the thing, because we're not really working on the level design. It's mainly just the character and all that. But I think there's gonna be about 5 episodes. But yeah, alright, let's get started. Sorry to bore you, but I was just trying to tell you what we're gonna be doing throughout this. So obviously get your Mixamo animations, as I said. As you most probably can tell, I've already opened these stuff. But then if you say what you're gonna do, import the animations. I'm pretty sure there's a way. You can search on YouTube how to do it. It's very easy. You just drag. I'll just show you. Just drag. Always drag. Do not drag everything in first. Always drag the character in first, and you select the skeleton. It's quite easy. There's loads of YouTube videos on it. But the reason why I've actually started before is because I wanted to just have a little look. Because last time I videoed this video, it didn't work. So I need to get some more animations. Then it works. So yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna start. So obviously import everything, and you should have those animations. And then right click and go to animation, blend space 1D, and then when you do it, open up, and it might look a bit like this. It won't have any animations. Not this one, sorry. I actually need to delete that one, but I will be deleting that later, because it does take quite a long time to delete, unfortunately. So basically, first one you want to do is just idle to run. Rename it to idle to run. There is a sword here. It looks a bit stupid, but that's most probably because that's kind of the way I've done it on the skeleton. So the skeleton's always going to look like that, no matter what. Then drag in your normal idle and to walk, and then name this here speed, and just leave everything. And now you need to make another one. You don't need to do this, but you can make a combat one. Well, you will need the combat one, but I meant you could just do it later on. But name it combat. Do not name it combat 2. Combat. And you could tell these are all my stuff I had, obviously the shield and then that. And then just name the speed. Then do this animation blueprint. Yeah, animation blueprint. Go onto that. And when you click this, go into the animation blueprint, and your character will be like a T-pose. Then from the entry, bring in your idle to run, which will be your normal state. Bring it out of this. And then just drag it like that. It's quite easy to do that, really. You just do that. And also, if you want to delete like the line, you just hold on this, or hold on here. But basically, just hold on the line, hit Control and left mouse button, and you can tell it went off. Okay, so now we've done that. Now you've added your idle to run. Go into it and click this and promote to a variable. And then name that variable speed. So, yeah. So I'm actually going to delete this. Alright. actually going to show you how I mean. So promote a variable, we call this speed, and I can't do it, I've already got one, but basically name that speed, that'll be a new variable. We're going to delete that, we're going to bring this one in, and then it should look a bit like this, and it should have the active, not this, so they're not like that, that's not for the moment. Go to the event graph. You might be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go to another tutorial. This is easy as cake. This is literally easy as cake, okay? So it will not have the is valid, so it should just have these. So just let's just take half of it out. It won't have this bit here. So this bit will all be gone. It will just have this bit here, and do this. Just type in is valid, and then you want to basically do not about this for the moment. Do that. Drag this to input object. No, input object to try get born over. Then just basically just copy this, get velocity, and then from get velocity do that to length, right back to length, and then you then get your speed variable and set it. And the way you do that is you just do this, or you can simply just drag on there, it will set it. But you can just click set, and it will do that. And then you basically all you need to do now is just drag the speed down to here. I'm sure you can tell it's like that. And then what you can do is, if you want to, you can just like press Control on there and take it off. That's basically how you take it off. So you literally just hit Control, and yeah. And then do not write any of this. Just pretend this bit is not here. So let's just actually cross this out real quickly, like that. So it should look a bit like this without this stuff. And then the Casta Maria, it's basically your character. So that would be my this would be this character here. And you simply want to go into it, and you want to just say Casta Maria, and then you basically get that to try get corner. You then make a variable, a boolean variable, and you then name this combat. Okay, you name that combat, and you then drag it out. Actually, you don't do it in here. You make the variable in your character like this. You make it in here, and you then call it combat or whatever you want, really. And then you simply just drag it out, and you say get combat, and you just do that, and it will do this. And then you want to right click, as I showed you a minute ago with the speed, promote to a variable, then just literally just do this and put it in like that. I'll just show you just so you don't get so confused. Click right click, promote to variable, name it, then drag that up to there. I don't need to do that at the moment because I've already got it. Now what we need to do? Oh dear, what have I done? Don't worry. I just accidentally swapped it for the wrong one. There we go, all done. Now your thing should look a bit like this. Now I've kind of explained, you know, how it works. Now this is kind of a beginner. If you don't understand it, it's not really for a beginner. It's more for a medium person that's want to learn combat systems and all that. Because I already know quite a lot, and I'm imagining I can make a game on 2 days, but not a big game. I would definitely not make this game. I would kind of make a 2D game, but you know, yes. So now you've done that, your thing is now what? Now you go in. Now you have to go into your character. I have to go to viewport, click the mesh, which would be your character mesh, and then you go to animation glass, and you basically just want to choose your animation blueprint that you did here. So that, in my case, mine will be called locomotion, and that's basically what you select in there. It'll do the idle pose thing. Basically, it works, and when you click play, give yourself in the pat at the back, because your character will start walking like this. Yeah, and then obviously we don't actually have any jump yet, but that's fine, we're going to be doing that later on. This is not a thing we should do. We don't need to add jumping, obviously running as well, but we don't really need run for just for a moment. We mainly want walk and jump. As you most can tell, we're just doing this. And then just pretend I don't even have this stuff here, like we don't actually have this. But yeah, basically you're just walking. Now it's in time to import. Not import, sorry. now in time to do the combat system. Thing you've all been waiting for, and I've gone through the easy step. We can just do the hard step. This is not that hard, but it's a little harder. So now we're going to obviously we've already got our combat system or combat. We've already got our combat stuff, and now, well, you should have saw this before. If you forgot to do this, just go back and have a little look, because this is definitely what I've been doing. I've already done this with you guys. Now, I'm going to locomotion, and you need to go to your character. I'm just basically just opening it up. Go to Maria, or whatever your character is, and you want to make a variable called combat. And then obviously I showed you a minute ago in the animation graph, you basically just drag it in onto A. Oh yeah, and also you basically, this number 1 is how I equip my weapon. Okay, then just take your choice. If you don't want any animation better equip, you might just be looking for the attack animations. Obviously you might just want to have one weapon. If you're a total beginner, you don't really understand, but that's fine. That's literally fine. Because it's much easier to do this. I would say it's better because it's more fun. You can have more weapons. You know. But yeah, basically you just click 1 and it'll come up on keyboard events or any key you want, but if it's a weapon, then you get a flip flop. And I've used these quite a lot. I'm now going to explain what a flip flop is. Now, basically, this is basically almost like this, but if you were to do this, pressed release, it wouldn't work. When you press 1, if you need to hold 1 so to get to combat, and then when you release number 1, it will just go back, and it will basically just, you know, it'll go off. But we don't want that. You really don't want that. So what you've got to do is you've got to make it so this flip flop really does help. Instead, it's, you know, it's basically like when you press it, it will stay there. When you just press 1 once, it'll stay. You press once again, it will then do that. But yeah, it's quite simple really. And then a sequence would be, so you can basically, because I remember when I was a beginner, I didn't have a clue what that meant. Flip flop, sequence, it's all confusing, isn't it? But actually, you know, when you start to get used to it, you really do enjoy this. I really enjoy this. It's so good fun. But what you then a sequence is basically, so you'd say event tick. If you wanted a, basically, if you want to say event begin play, it's like, oh, I want to do more stuff on the event begin, but I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that, and that's how you do it. You just do the sequence. So you say event begin play. You basically would say event begin play. For example, if I wanted to spawn 2 weapons, you'd be like, oh, hold on, do I use a flip flop? No, you do not use a flip flop, because that would never work. You have to say sequence, and this will basically spawn a weapon and the other thing, and you can literally add so many pins. You could literally add like 200 pins, but then you can add, I want to do that, oh, I want to do that, I also want to do that, and that, and it'll basically do it the same. So that's basically what a sequence is, and we'll be using a sequence as well, because we're obviously going to need we won't even need it, but yes. So that's basically what I've done. You should copy this, well, don't copy it yet, but then 1 flip flop and make those variable, and then just say spawn act. So this is the other bit you need to do. This is where your weapons come in handy. This is where you basically got to add your weapons, Infinity Blade weapons, or the weapon pack. Doesn't matter. I'm going to be using Infinity Blade weapons because they're more cooler, but you can use any one you want. So now so obviously you've got your weapons, you can just browse them, have a little look what you like. I've already done that, so go to your thing, make a folder. You don't have to make a folder, but I would suggest doing that. And then what you should do is you then need to click here, blueprint cast, actor, go into it, and then add component, skeletal mesh, or if you have a static mesh, and then go to this, and then you can choose your axe. For example, if you wanted an axe, you could choose an axe. You could choose your weapon from here. As you can tell, my computer's not the best, but it actually is quite fast. I've got like I've got an AMD CPU, and I've got a GTX 1050 Ti, so it's quite a high-end system, but it's not the best. It is very good for Fortnite and other games. I'm not a Fortnite guy, by the way. I don't play the game really. I just have it installed because I thought, well, we may as well. But this is basically what I do for my living. Obviously go to school, but I generally just do this when I go home from school. I'm hoping to better this game. I might be making this my game that I start doing, but I don't know. I hope I won't. Basically, you can tell this is your axe. You just leave it from there. You'll see name it to your sword or your axe or whatever you've got. As you can see, it's most probably going to take a bit of time to delete. Nope, it's not. And then when you've got your sword, you want to go to your skeleton, your character skeleton, just to remind you. And then you want to basically, as much as it's not really good, but you know, you can make it better. Normally you'd make it run away, but you know, you don't have to do that because it's already perfect. Then you want to go to your right hand, you just click the right hand, add a socket, and then you rename that socket, and then on the socket it will look a bit like this, and you just right click onto it, add preview assets, and you can then choose your, it won't be the sword that you named it, it will just be the thing that it came, like for example like SK, I didn't name it SK, I just named it sword, but it would be SK Blade for example. And then when you've added that, you then want to name like this whatever you want, and then when you've done that, on the Maria thing you say spawn actor, and then just to make sure it definitely works, I mean you don't have to do this, but yeah, do not do that then. So you then want to promote this to a variable, just by doing this, promote to variable, and then just rename that whatever you want, and then basically just, as you could tell, I just did that, did that, and then just simply dragged it to attach component. And the way you get attached to a component, you basically just search it up, attach the component, it is the target, is the actor, choose that one there, and then you simply just get that. I'm just gonna, well I'm not actually delete this because that'd be a bit dumb if I did that. Get that, basically just do this, do that, and then just get your mesh, drag that in like that, and then basically that's it. And then you do that, you then type in your socket name you made a minute ago. If you have to go back to that, go back to it. And then on location rule, snap the target, rotation rule, keep relative, or you can just snap the target. And now if it does send you to space, which it does do sometimes, because it's basically your weapons colliding with you, that's why it moves, adds force, something like that, moves you up. So just do snap the target, basically just mess around with these stuff, and it will not affect anything. Now when you've done that, that will now work. When you basically, we're just trying to say, when we go to the combat state, you want to spawn the actor. When you're not on, when you actually press 1 again, you do want to destroy the weapon and go back to false combat. And now when you've got these variables on combat, you then want to go to this, and you want to say event graph, and this is when your cast Maria, or your cast character, will come in very handy. Then you go to, I think we've already done this bit, haven't we? Yeah, we have. So, basically, it's just lagged, it's just lagged. Basically, when you've done this, you basically want to, well, you should have this, because actually we've already done this before, but like, we just did this in it basically. And when you've done that, you then want to go to new state machine, and you can rename this if you want. I'm going to call this Maria, because this is actually the name on Mixamo, what I name was. I just want to name it what it was. Go to Maria, and then bring in combat, the combat state you made a minute ago with the idle stuff. Not this one here, the other combat, so I'm going to show you quickly, just so you understand. This combat, where he did this, you want to bring that in, just by, literally, you have to literally just bring it in like this. Bring it in like that, and then you want to do this, and then bring it like this, and then do that, simply like that, obviously on idle. So basically just copy that, you drag it in, you do this to there, and then you do combat to idle to run, and it should be, now if it does not bring these stuff, what you can do, you can then compile it, save it, and then just go off of this, and then go back onto it, not on the engine, just go off of the animation stuff, and then go back onto it, and it should be working. And then go into your first state, idle to run. So from idle to combat, go into it. You then get your combat state. You bring it in as usual, and then you then bring this little line to can enter transition. And this is basically just saying he's in the combat state. When you click the button, he's in the combat state, isn't he? But then when you go back, this is when you have to do something different. Combat state, that you just write combat state, the same thing we did. Then do this, equal boolean. Now, I don't exactly know what this means. I'm pretty sure it means equal, because you can use an or boolean, but I would suggest using an equal one. I'll make sure it's false as well, because he's not doing it anymore. Yeah, and that my friends will be working now. If it doesn't work, try again. Just restart it all and just try again. And this is what your thing should look like. Now, if it does not spawn still, just try again. Messing around with these stuff. Now, if you click play, and now your character, and when you click one, it'll go in like this, and it should be the weapon. Now, if the weapon's like flipped over, you just need to mess around with the skeleton. Obviously the sword. As you can see, it does this. Now I'm going to click one, it does this. Now we can make it. Now if you're only going to be having 2 weapons, you can have it on the back, but I'm not going to have that. I'm going to have multiple weapons. But obviously I also want to have, like, well, you can have it at your back, but you could do that. But that's very easy. You just do the same thing. You just say event begin play, you do the spawn actor thing and make another skeleton on the back. Okay. Now we want to implement the what's it called, the shield. So as you most probably can tell, if I go to weapon pack, if I go on to mesh, if I go to weapons kit, do not use the SM one. Make sure you go to weapons, blueprints, light shaft. No, not light shaft. Sorry. Just trying to find it on them. Skeletal mesh, and that's exactly what you want. You want shield, don't you? But, or you might actually have your own shield, but SK shield, as you might tell, it's a nice bit of shield. Then go to your skeleton mesh on your third person blueprint. Hold on, I'm going to find it. Hold on, I'm going to find it. Content, where is it? Where is it? Okay, I don't know if I what it's gone. There it is. Okay, it's actually underneath weapon pack, annoyingly, but yeah. Now you want to go to your skeleton again. Go to your skeleton and go to the left hand, add a socket, and then press FN and F2, or just press F2. My keyboard and mechanical one, it's a very 60% one, 60% one, and then just click FN and then 2 or F2, and then rename it whatever you want. I'm going to be renaming it to shield. I'm suggesting just do capitals, otherwise it's a bit annoying. And do that, add preview asset, and you want to add your shield, which in my case would be SK. It's always SK because it's skeletal mesh. So then you go to SK shield, and now you can see she's got the shield. I would suggest, as you most probably tell, when you do that, you kind of bring it like that, but you would have to do this. Fortunately, we can't be doing like the proper stuff, but you just need to have it. I mean, this one's much easier to do, but that's what you would do, like that. Then save it, go into here, go to Maria, or your character, and you're basically going to say, when you've done this, you want to spawn another one of these, so just say here, go to here, and you then want to say, also make the other weapon. We're going to say shield, class, actor, shield, skeleton mesh, SK shield. Also guys, if you're also getting very bored about this, do not worry, because we're nearly done. And moving on to the next episode. I'm going to be filming the next episode literally in a minute. So yeah, then name this to shield, to promote a variable, call this shield however you want. And also guys, with the weapon stuff, the animation stuff is, well, not the animation, but basically when you click one, that's the same stuff you do if you want to add your combat stuff with your weapons. But basically it's the same, but we're obviously doing a combat system with shields and swords and shields, right? Do shield. Now when you play the game, you should click one, and as you can tell, it spawns the sword. Yeah, that's why. Change this to shield, and now your shield will be awaiting. Just checking. Promote to level for the shield, and now bring this in here. And now if we click one, and now you must be able to tell you've got the shield. Obviously it's ran the other way, which is fine. We can fix that. All you need to do is just swap it around the other way. But as you most could tell, it looks really good at it. I didn't expect it to be that good either. But it turns out it was actually quite good. So now if we just flip this round away, you'll have to go down after and fit this on. And now when we click save, play. Perfect! Now, as you most could tell, it's not brilliant, but that's fine. Again, that's because of that bit there, look. So I really have to do it at the end to see where we are. Really, you'd have it right at the arm, wouldn't you? Again, guys, it does take a long time to fiddle around with it, but that's fine, you can do that. That's much better. There you go, perfect. Looks alright. Now, you could tell she's got a shield, and it's perfect. As you most could tell, it looks really good. Sword still needs a bit of improvement, but that's fine. Looks perfect. Okay, we've only got one more thing to do. I'm just trying to think what I want to do. No, I don't think we did need to do one thing. Yeah, this is it. Finally my first tutorial on episode. So this has been episode one of 5, I believe. It's not really much, but I really hope you enjoyed this video today, guys. I hope you learned something today. I guess I didn't really, because I already know how to do this, but I really hope you learned something. So give yourself a pat on the back, you know, give yourself a pat on the back, because I think it's very impressive what I've done as well. It's very cool, and we were going to be doing the animations as well. So we can do that next video. We can add the get out animation, like the kind of the sheath on. Basically, when we basically set the sword out, it looks right, doesn't it? So yeah, really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in episode 2, which I'll be filming in a minute, believe it or not. But I'll be adding, so that also I'll be filming this every single day. So it will be episode 1 today. I'll be filming episode 2 today. Then I'll be adding episode 2 tomorrow, like that. So basically, this will be episode every day. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.